Alright. How to build calves fast. Now, first step to building big calves is understanding that calves is not a small muscle. You must treat it like any other muscle or body part that you're training consistently in the gym. So whenever anybody is trying to grow their calves, which is a hard muscle to grow, not gonna lie, right? Um, the first step is they treat it as if it was a smaller muscle, which it is. But if you want to grow it to a degree where you can actually see a difference, you must treat it like any other body part. So first thing to building big calves is treat it like any other body part, right? You want to treat calves like you want to train calves like you would train chest, right? Hitting it from twice a week, twice a week in the to four reps. No, no, not four reps. I'm tripping. 4 sets in the 10 to 12 rep, right? You want this is the rep range you want to train your calves at, and the sets and how many times a week you should be training your calves if you want to see growth. Now, mind you, you can, however, train it for 4 times a week, but make sure you are spacing out the days that you're training your calves. So you're not gonna train it Monday and Tuesday. You're not gonna do this because that would ultimately slow you down, right? Because if you've been in the gym for a long time, you know that training muscles back to back to back is a no. So you want to train it twice a week. I think that's the most optimal, and that's what's gonna promote the most growth. Secondly, we want to talk about exercises. Oh, my marker is dying. Let me get another one. Exercises. Exercises. Right? Now, I'm gonna tell you which exercise is terrible. Well, that I rate less than the good exercises. First, we have seated calf raises. Seated calf raises is my least favorite and the least optimal out of this whole list. Right? Seated calf raises is doesn't offer a good stretch. Right? Doesn't offer a good stretch at the bottom. It offers some, but not the best. And sometimes your quads can get involved into the exercise, which takes away from the actual exercise. The exercise that I'm about to show you, which is standing. These two right here. These two are the GOAT exercise for calves. Standing calf raises or leg press calf raises. If your gym doesn't have a standing calf raise machine, you can use leg press calf raises. It'll both work great. Training it in the 4 to 3 set and 10 to 12 rep is what you want to train it at. And obviously implementing training to failure and training to failure one, and training it at least twice a week. So standing calf raises and leg press are the two good exercises to actually grow your calves. Seated calf raises is all right. I rate it as 7. Right, you could do it, but it doesn't work as great as these two right here. Right, and now for any body part that you will grow in the gym, you're gonna need something. Right, let's just say you're doing the amount of sets you're supposed to be doing, you're doing the amount of reps you're supposed to be doing, and it might work for a week, but what about when you hit a plateau? I got something for you. When you hit a plateau, right, you want to go back to the drawing board, right? Are you training to failure? And and are you doing progressive overload? These two, doing the right exercise in the right sets and the rep range, will only matter if you're training to failure and doing progressive overload. Training to failure is training till you can't do any more reps. So everything in the tank has been emptied. And the way you're going to do that is not training every set to failure, right? You're going to have 2 warm-up sets and 2 working sets. Warm-up set is just getting you used to the weight that you're doing. And then the 2 working sets is your actual set where you hit your top set. And each week, to implement progressive overload, you want to add weight or reps. You want to I was waiting for that. You want to add weight or reps. That's going to make sure that you keep growing and you keep building muscles, right? So don't just go in the gym and do the same exercises or the same weight every single day. You have to add weight or rep each week, right? And tracking your workouts will really help that. But you don't have to, right? If you want to take it a step further, you can track your workout, but you don't have to. Warm up set, we call it a W. Working set, also W, right? Warm up set, you're just warming up to your top set. Once you hit your top set, you're gonna train one of the top set, not to failure, but close to failure, meaning you got like 1 to 2 reps left in the tank. And then that last set in the working set, you want to hit that till you can't go anymore. That's going to ensure that you're training to failure. And then each week you want to add weight or reps. Now, this is the last thing that we have to talk about, or that I'm going to talk about. By the way, let me know how you like the calf drawing. This took me like one second to do this, and I really appreciate it if you guys drop a like for this, just for that. But this one thing is the only thing that's gonna help you win at or build any source of muscles. consistency. If you're not consistently training it twice a week in the sets and reps that I recommended and to failure, you're not going to see growth. You're not going to see growth. And yes, you're basically going to get stuck at where you're at. So, this is why consistency is very important. And let this be the last video you watch about growing calves, because I've seen so many people on the internet say they can't grow their calves, and saying that growing calves is a myth. It's not a myth, right? If you have two sets of legs, two sets of working legs, you can grow your calves. And let this be the last time that you're seeing a video like this, because I told you everything to do. All you have to do is watch it over and over and implement it every single day that you go and hit legs at the gym. Forced to retire. Yeah.